Okay, good morning, 5th and 6th graders. So yesterday, as far as figurative language, we discussed similes, metaphors, and alliteration. And so similes and metaphors are very similar. They both compare two things that are not alike, such as a baseball player and a rocket, or America and a melting pot. Okay, but the difference is that in a simile, it uses like or as, saying the baseball player sprinted like a rocket, and metaphors do not use like or as. They use words such as are, am, is, was, or were. The baseball player was a rocket. America is a melting pot. Okay, and then alliteration we talked about is the repetition of the sounds at the beginning of the words multiple times in a sentence. So sheep should sleep in a shed. The drooling, daring dog stole food from the table. So repeating the same letter or letters over and over again multiple times in a sentence. Okay, so today we're going to cover onomatopoeia, personification, and hyperboles. So again, if you want to get your worksheet out and fill it out with me, or if you want to go back and do it afterwards, that's up to you. So first we have onomatopoeia, which share here the definition. Okay, so an onomatopoeia spells out words and they sound like what they mean, like crack, boom, pop. Okay, and a lot of comic books use onomatopoeias, and they might look something like this, where the word pops out at you. Okay, so an onomatopoeia definition: spell out words and sound like what they mean. Okay, and the example that they give, like we said, crack, boom, pop. How this might be used in poetry. So let's take a look here. This quick video.
Let's have one day for girls and boyses when you can make the grandest noises. Screech, scream, holler and yell, buzz a buzzer, clang a bell. Sneeze, hiccup, whistle, shout, laugh until your lungs wear out. Toot a whistle, kick a can, bang a spoon against a pan. Sing, yodel, bellow, hum. Blow a horn, beat a drum. Rattle a window, slam a door, scrape a rake across the floor. Use a drill, drive a nail, turn the hose on the garbage pail. Shout, yahoo, hurrah, hooray! Turn up the music all the way. Try and bounce your bowling ball, ride a skateboard up the wall, chomp your food with a snap and a slurp, chew, chomp, hiccup, burp. One day a year, do all of these. The rest of the days, be quiet, please.
So they made the words look like what they are. And so that's just an example of a poem. That poem was by Shel Silverstein. So some more examples might be boom, crack. It's like when you say the word, it sounds like what the word is. The sound sounds like the word, if that makes sense. Kaboom, even. So all those kinds of words are onomatopoeia. So again, they spell out the words and they sound like what they mean. Okay, next we have personification. And what I always like to think about for personification, the word person is in personification. Okay. So going back to this PowerPoint. So Personification gives human qualities to objects, ideas, or animals. Okay, it turns objects or animals and makes them seem like people, a person, personification. Okay. Okay, so this example they give, the trees roared during the storm. You might describe the flowers waved in the wind, the stars winked in the sky. Okay, so they're things that are not real, alive or not people, and you're making them sound like people. Okay, this example, William the wary of weather said the sunflowers shining with dew. Well, sunflowers don't really talk, okay, but they're shining with dew. Our traveling habits have tired us. Can you give us room with a view? They arranged themselves at the window and counted the steps of the sun, and they both took root in the carpet where the topaz tortoises run. So it's talking about how these sunflowers are doing human actions. Okay, some other examples that I had come up with. The last piece of pie was calling my name. Okay, a piece of pie can't actually talk, but I knew I had to eat it. It was calling out to me. I needed to eat it. Um, Lightning danced across the sky. Well, lightning isn't actually dancing like you and I could, but it might look like that. So that's the human trait that an inanimate object is doing. Okay, good. So then our next and final type of figurative language is a hyperbole. Okay, so a hyperbole is extreme exaggeration for emphasis. Okay, the example they give, I must have eaten a million pieces of candy on Halloween. So not actually a million, but it's an emphasis that you exaggerate to give emphasis. The examples in poetry, here's another YouTube video.
Greasy napkins. A poem by Shel Silverstein. Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out. She'd scour the pots and scrape the pans, candy the yams and spice the hams. And though her daddy would scream and shout, she simply would not take the garbage out. And so it piled up to the ceiling, coffee grounds, potato peelings, brown bananas, rotten peas, chunks of sour cottage cheese. It filled the can, it covered the floor, it cracked the window and blocked the door, with bacon rinds and chicken bones, drippy ends of ice cream cones, prune pits, peach pits, orange peel, gloppy glumps of cold oatmeal, pizza crusts and withered greens, soggy beans and tangerines, crusts of black-burned buttered toast, gristly bits of beefy roast. The garbage rolled on down the hall, it raised the roof, it broke the wall. Greasy napkins, cookie crumbs, globs of gooey bubble gum, cellophane from green bologna, rubbery blubbery macaroni, peanut butter caked and dried, curdled milk and crusts of pie, moldy melons, dried up mustard, eggshells mixed with lemon custard, cold French fried and rancid meat, yellow lumps of cream of wheat.
So what they're getting at in this poem is that because she never took the garbage out, it piled up and piled up and piled up, and it's listing all of the foods, and it would the house was gonna explode. So they're exaggerating to make it the story more entertaining, putting the emphasis on it. Okay, so hyperbole is extreme exaggeration for emphasis. Some other examples that I had come up with. You probably heard this one. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Not literally, but it shows that I'm extremely hungry. Um, it's raining cats and dogs. Okay, there's not literally cats and dogs falling from the sky, but that's showing that it's raining really hard, coming down really hard, a lot. And I walked 1,000 miles. Well, probably not, but it might seem like you walked and walked and walked. So that's an exaggeration to show how long you've actually walked. Okay. So after having this, you can decide if you want to take the quiz today, you can. Otherwise, you can wait and take it Friday. You can use your worksheet. Absolutely. Take the quiz whenever you have the chance, and then I'll give you the answers on Monday, I guess, then. So if you take it Friday. Okay. Bye, everyone.